Good morning, Tennessee Valley. I love that music. Love the new opening that we have for the show. Good morning, Tennessee Valley. This is Tennessee Valley This Morning. First Monday in July, July 2nd, and we hope that your June ended up being a great month for you. I know that it ended up being a hot month for you, and today is going to be no exception. I think the last couple of days we've been at, near, or over the 100-degree mark. So, and there may have been some spotty rain here or there, but I know I didn't get any, so I'm betting that you didn't either. Hopefully we'll have some lower temperatures as we get past the holiday, and it will be a little more tolerable outside. For those folks that work outside, our sympathies to you. It's great to be working in an office. Actually, it's great to be in the studio here on this Monday morning because it's very nice, very cool here. So we hope that you have a good week planned and that you will stay tuned to WTNB throughout the week. This is Monday, of course, shows Tennessee Valley This Morning each morning at 6:30, a replay at noon, and we hope you watch and we hope you enjoy. A couple of things that I want to mention before we get into our show, and we've got a couple of great guests that will be coming in here in a second. But the first thing, and I am the Vice President of Communications for United Way Bradley County, so this gives me a great opportunity to talk about United Way, but really to thank the folks that are involved in our campaign or in some activities that we have been involved in. And the 21st of June, which would have been just after the last show that I was on, we had an event at the public library called Raise Your Hand Tennessee. We had a lot of volunteers in our community that spoke, actually read from books to a lot of the children over there. And I really want to say a big shout out first to the Cleveland Bradley County Public Library, to Andy Hunt, to Mary Ellen Stinchfield, all the folks over there that helped us put on this event, and the volunteers who read to the kids. We had, I want to say, maybe 12 volunteers in our community who read, including State Senator Mike Bell came down and read to the kids, and State Representative Kevin Brooks. We had Kay Walker, who used to be the librarian, I believe, over at E.L. Ross. Just some great. Andy Hunt, of course, the librarian, read to them and actually did a little fun little skit with the kids, and it really was a positive experience for the children. So we hope to make that an annual event. So thank you to everyone who was involved in that. As we've said before, we've got our United Way luncheon, kickoff luncheon, that's coming up on August the 15th. Our kickoff speaker will be John Smoltz, and tickets will be going on sale next week on July 11th. So they're not available until then, but we're going to have a great time then. Quality person, John Smoltz. Everything I've heard about him has been positive. And we're just extremely excited about having him. Those tickets will go on sale on July 11th. Now, this is the week of the holiday. July 4th is coming up on Wednesday, and there's going to be a lot of fireworks shows all over the region, the area. And I've got Gil Frederick, who's going to come in and talk a little bit about fireworks safety with the Cleveland Fire Department here in a few minutes. But my friend David Orr over at Cleveland Utilities, he asked if I would announce what's going on at Waterville Baptist Church, because they have a block party which will include fireworks, but this is, I guess, sort of the grand opening, grand reopening. The church, they've moved their services to the old First Baptist Church downtown, and coming up on, let me make sure I'm getting this right, July 8th, which will be Sunday, they will have their first service in their new building at Waterville Baptist Church. Now, That will be at 10:45, their first service in the new building. Sunday school will start at 9:30 that morning. But coming up on Wednesday, they're going to have a open house and block party at Waterville Baptist Church. And food, fun, games, inflatable. You can't have anything in town without having these blow-up toys, inflatables, music, door prizes, tours of the new building. And they will have a 4th of July festival, which will include fireworks as it gets dark that evening. So it begins at 7 o'clock, and it's at the Waterville Baptist Church down on Dalton Pike. So if you get a chance and you don't have other plans on the 4th, why not check out Waterville Baptist Church's open house and block party? It should be a lot of fun. As I said, we've got Gil Frederick coming up from the Cleveland Fire Department to talk about fireworks safety. We got Cameron Fisher, and Cameron is the chairman of the Greenway Board. I'm looking at Cameron off camera, and I'm waiting for him to shake his head, so yes, that's his title. And he's going to tell us a little bit about the expansion of the Greenway. We have a new section of Greenway that I have yet to experience, so I'm going to talk with him a little bit about that. Should be a good show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Have annoying biting and stinging insects taken over your yard? Volunteer Rid-A-Pest can get it back. Make your yard a no-fly zone with Mosquito Guard. Volunteer Rid-A-Pest will eliminate these annoying pests, and you'll be able to work in your yard, have a pool party, a cookout, allow your children to play outside, or just sit outside and enjoy the evening. Volunteer Rid-A-Pest has developed an extremely effective treatment program that treats all shrubs, bushes, trees, and other foliage where mosquitoes and other biting, stinging insects live and breed. This material will not harm your plants or trees and leaves no harmful residue. This treatment program is safe for use around children and pets, but the best part is it's 100% guaranteed. If you are not 100% satisfied, Volunteer Rid-A-Pest will retreat for free until you are satisfied, or after 30 days, will cancel their agreement and refund 100% of your money. Give Volunteer Rid-A-Pest a call for a free no-obligation estimate. Phone 472-7736.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
And welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on this first Monday of July, July 2nd. And hello, Cleveland, Bradley County, and everybody watching this morning. You'll look to my left, and you'll see Gil Fredericks.
Home to a
or not Fredericks, Frederick.
It is singular, yes.
No S, right. If there were more of you here, there would be Fredericks.
Thank God there's not more of me.
But yes, one is plenty, I believe. But Gil is with the Cleveland Fire Department, and your official title with the fire department?
Fire inspector.
Okay, just fire inspector.
That's it.
Okay, I don't see any bar. Well, do I see bars or anything?
Bugles. We use. I carry the rank of lieutenant, an administrative lieutenant. So we have bugles instead of bars.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So you're Lieutenant Gil Frederick.
Well, yes, Inspector Frederick.
Inspector. You'd rather be called Inspector.
They call me Inspector Gadget around the hall. All kinds of different names.
Well, Gil Gadget, yeah, I can understand. And how long have you been with the fire department, Gil?
I began volunteering with the county fire department in '96.
Okay.
Got a paid position with them in 2002, and around 5 years ago, I moved over to the city.
Okay.
And I've been there ever since.
Been there ever since. So you've been with the city coming up on 7 years?
5.
5. I was thinking 2007.
Yes. Sorry.
You know, they told me there would be no math if I hosted this show, and I have to look at the clock and try to figure out how much time we've got. this is too hard on a Monday
understand.
morning.
It's
It really
complicated,
is.
yes. I agree.
And you have I always like to ask my guests first, before we get into the meat of the subject, a little bit about themselves. You're a native Bradley County?
I am. I was
Okay.
born in Bradley Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
I've lived here a majority of my life. I went to Atlanta, attended the Art Institute of Atlanta for a couple of years and received an associate's in art degree. Came back and found a job somewhat in the field of advertising and started volunteering and really enjoyed it and switched careers.
Okay. Had being a fireman, you talk to kids as they're growing up, and what do you want to be when you grow up? And I want to be an astronaut, I want to be president, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a teacher. Had you ever thought that you wanted to be a fireman? Is that something that you, as you were growing up?
I think it ran through my head at one. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do,
Oh,
really,
okay.
to be totally honest with you.
Okay, well, you're still young enough
I'm
to
still
do
here.
that.
I mean, I don't know that I'll ever know, but for right now, this is what I really enjoy doing. And I just, it's a new job every day. It's something new every day, and I just really enjoy it. So.
Now, as inspector, what does a fire inspector do in our community? What's your
Fabulous question.
Yeah,
My-
what do
my
you do when you go?
primary-
I know what you do because you've come and inspected our building before.
Yes,
But,
and a lot of people don't like to see me coming sometimes, but my primary goal is to, and it's a little awkward, is to put the fire department out of business.
Okay.
So my goal is prevention. A fire that never exists, never has the opportunity to hurt or harm you or your property or firefighters themselves. So my number one goal is to stop fires before they happen.
Okay.
And that's why I go out and I do fire inspections and I look for fire hazards in businesses and I enforce code that's adopted by the city of Cleveland pertaining to fire prevention and fire hazards.
What is the biggest thing that you see as a violation when you go to I'll say businesses rather than homes, but to businesses? What's the I guess the violation that stands out the most?
Commonly, probably two. One of which is all businesses are required to have a fire extinguisher.
Okay.
Those fire extinguishers are required to have an annual inspection, and the certified company that does these inspections will place a tag on the extinguisher. Those are one of the biggest things that we find lacking is that those aren't done annually.
Okay.
Probably one of the next biggest things that I find is the use of extension cords, and code says that extension cords are for temporary use only, and not to be used in lieu of permanent wiring. Just an explanation was if I were going to use a tool to drill a hole in a wall and my cord didn't reach the outlet, then I would use an extension cord. Or if I was going to show a movie to a group on television, I would use the extension cord. When I was done, I would...
A temporary use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because temporary can be kind of based on the perception of whoever is thinking about it, because Christmas lights are temporary, but
for more than just a day.
and they're getting longer every year. So
exactly.
it's
some people keep their lights up all the time.
So I find that a lot, and a lot of them have potential to be overused or overpowered, and under rugs or through doorways and things of that nature.
So you check like surge protectors or things like that? Would you consider that a...
Well, usually that's what I recommend is if they have extension cords, we recommend they get a surge protector. They make surge protectors or power taps or power strips now that have 20-foot cords on them.
Right.
That have reset buttons and on-off switches and things of that nature that are designed just for that. So I mean, that's what we recommend replacement with.
I know that they say that in your homes you always need to have a working fire detector, a smoke detector.
Yes.
And possibly more than one.
Yes.
I guess one outside of each bedroom or whatever.
If you build a home now, you're required to have one in every sleeping room, one in the vicinity of every sleeping room, which would be in the hallway outside, and one on every floor.
Is this also a mandate for businesses? Do they need to have?
No. Businesses, it depends, because it depends on the type of, if it's a business, is it mercantile, like a place that sells products, or assembly? Is it a church or that nature? That and the number of people that can fit in the space determine things such as that.
I got you. Okay. Now, are you in charge of? I want to say, if you have an assembly, you have a limit of people that can get into a building or something like that.
Correct.
Is that part of your job as well? Letting folks know what the maximum.
Yeah, we like to encourage. It is a requirement for an assembly occupancy, and that could be a restaurant or a church, any place where a bar, a large number of people can gather. Okay. We do encourage and require it now for new construction that occupancy level be posted, so that people going in can visibly see what the room is rated for as far as numbers concerned.
Okay. You have a lot of duties as a fire inspector.
But we've just skimmed the surface.
Busy. Well, it's only an hour show. So.
I know.
and I don't want to take Cameron Fisher's time, because
absolutely not.
He enjoys to be on TV very much. But I didn't realize all that you did, and I didn't really ask you to come on the show to talk about what the fire inspector does. Although I'm very interested, and I may ask you another question about that in a second. I'm not sure. But I wanted you to come on the show because it is July 2nd, and we know we've got 2 days from now, July 4th.
Yes.
And that is the biggest day for fireworks.
Oh, yes.
Although it seems like it's becoming more than just a day, it's becoming a week or a month.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It starts early. And
I think it started last week. It started in June sometime. Yeah. And now we have fireworks in, December and all the time. But this is a very busy time for fireworks, and there are some things that people need to know about fireworks to make it safe, because they can be very, very dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. The National Fire Protection Association recommends that consumers don't even mess with fireworks, just because of the number of injuries that occur every year from fireworks, and the number of fires also. But there is a couple of websites that you can go to for information on fireworks safety. NFPA.org is one. Another one is fireworkssafety.org.
Okay.
Both have, especially fireworks safety, because that's primarily what it's about, is fireworks safety. They have an extensive list of things and tips that you can do. A lot of it just starts with common sense. For instance, it's been very hot recently, and we've not had any rain.
Dry.
Right.
Yes.
So fireworks, when they explode, they create lots of heat. In a grassy area, that's a good way to start a fire.
So should you have some type of water around or something, just in case something like that happens?
Well, we recommend that you shoot fireworks on a flat surface, like a paved area, like a driveway, a parking lot somewhere, and allow ample amounts of room, depending on the type of firework that you have, so that none of the fragments fall back down into the grass and then start a fire there. So, but yes, we most definitely recommend that you have water, that there a bucket of water or a hose of garden hose available of some type, to douse those fireworks after they've been lit, because if you've shot fireworks off, you know that when you go to collect the container, sometimes there's little embers still in there. They're packed in cardboard. Okay. So, yeah, and cardboard burns. So
it does.
It's very good to just dunk them in water to make sure that there are no more smoldering embers down in the bottom of those vessels.
I've always heard, and I've never been a big fireworks person anyway, but I've always heard that if you light a firework and it doesn't go off, don't think that it's completely dead, that
Yes.
something could happen.
That's absolutely
So at that point you need to give it time anyway, and then if it doesn't, you need to maybe douse it.
Absolutely. Yeah, if it is considered a dud and does not, then do not try to relight it. And if it shoots straight out of the top, then you definitely don't want to look down into it to see, you know, well, what, you know, that's the old cartoon, you know, where it blows up in their face.
Exactly.
But I mean, that has actually happened, and so you just want to make sure that you dispose of it, pick it up, turn it away from you, or pour water on it right where it sits. Just do not get over the top of it, or pick it up and dunk it in water.
And I think one of the biggest issues is let an adult do this.
Absolutely. Supervision is probably one of the largest reasons, or the lack of supervision, that kids get hurt. And a lot of injuries are kids. Sparklers are almost half of the reason for the injury for kids under 5.
And we're told that sparklers are probably the least dangerous of any.
Yeah, grab the end of it.
Yeah, you'll find out.
Absolutely. They're up to 1,000 degrees, and which means a 3rd-degree burn just instantly.
Yeah.
So and at the same time, that's hot metal that's flying off of it as it's sparkling. Different types of metals are used for different colors. So if kids are waving it around like this, then that hot metal can fly off into their eyes, or you know, if you wear open-toe shoes down in your shirt, or start a fire in the grass. So
that's true.
Sparklers are very dangerous. Teenagers with bottle rockets. I mean, you know, they love shooting them at each other. I don't know why, but they do.
And that can be dangerous to more, you know, protect your eyes. And I wouldn't think that it would be a bad thing for even adults, if you're dealing with fireworks, to have some kind of eye protection.
Absolutely, that's on my list. Safety goggles.
List? You have a list?
Well, somewhere I have a list.
Okay, I thought this was the list here, no. But I know you're sort of looking over at it, and I see some things here like never relight.
That's right.
A dud.
Never relight a dud. That's what we talked about. Don't drink alcohol.
I saw that.
You know,
there.
that's woo-wee.
No, there's nothing worse than not knowing, you know, trying to find what you're trying to light and lighting the wrong thing. And you know, alcohol is an accelerant too, I guess. So
it could be, yes.
If you're having it around, you know, if something was to get into it.
Well, what I see a lot is that people will light fireworks here, and then they'll have the bags full of fireworks that they bought right here.
Smart.
So they're one little mishap, and you've got stuff flying everywhere.
But it's like you say, common sense is probably the thing that you need the most.
Yes.
When you're doing this. Now and we have fireworks sales. We have different places that are selling fireworks all throughout Bradley County. And we're not saying anything about don't buy fireworks. You know, we're not trying to say that.
Right.
But we do want folks to know that there are some rules, not just safety rules, but here within the city of Cleveland, you do have a rule about discharging fireworks.
Yes, there is an ordinance that does not allow for shooting fireworks in the city limits unless it's permitted properly. Like we'll have a show at the mall, the Bradley Square Mall,
right?
And that has proper permitting. It is displayed by a company, a professional company that's licensed and insured and bonded to do firework productions. So, and that's pretty much where it's all of the whole industry is moving toward that as far as professionals. Consumer fireworks, we have some people that do private shows and things of that nature. I think you mentioned one at a church.
Waterville Baptist.
I
yes.
have lots of friends down there. Hello, Waterville Baptist.
Hey, Waterville.
And so it's just, the consumer fireworks and professional fireworks very different. But still, consumer fireworks can be very dangerous.
But within the city, if you get a complaint, I guess that's what you deal with mostly.
I'd say police probably get more complaints.
Okay.
They don't call the fire department.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, they don't call the fire department until the fireworks starts a fire, and that goes right back to supervision. I know that when I was growing up, very lax in supervision for but even when I first started my career in the fire department, I can think back to some chicken houses that have burnt. One instance where the kids were in the front yard shooting off bottle rockets, turned it toward the house, front door was open. It shot it into the house,
Ooh.
up into an open second floor, and caught the house on fire. So,
Wow.
supervision.
It is. And these are not toys.
Absolutely not.
These can be very, very dangerous, and some of them can pack a wallop.
Oh, yes.
It seems like when I was growing up, what was it, the M80s or whatever?
Oh, yes.
Were the big ones. And we would put them in a cinder block.
Yeah.
And just, it wasn't going to destroy the cinder block, but it was going to make that noise louder. And the buzz bombs and all the things that we had that we were just fascinated. And now it seems like things look like you could take them to outer space.
Yes.
So there's a lot more power in some of these than we ever saw when we were kids.
Correct. And you need to know your firework. You can buy an assortment now of 100 different types of fireworks for a special low price. And there's some things that you may pull out of there and think, well, what is this? So you really need to know what you're shooting so that you know that if it spins on the ground, flies in the air, or spins on the ground, then flies in the air, or rolls across and then shoots things out. I mean, there's just all different types now, and they all pose their own threat. So
I think if I was a parent, I would get the ones that you just throw on the ground and they go pop.
Snap pops.
The snap pops. Those sound like, and it sound like something that I could even handle. But well, now this is the city ordinance. The county does not have an ordinance in place about fireworks, or do you know?
They do not.
Okay, so there is not a rule that they can't shoot fireworks in the county, but they still need to keep these safety measures in mind.
Correct. They especially about not shooting them in a grassy area, especially as dry as it is right now.
Exactly.
Find a driveway, a parking lot. Some people shoot them off in the road, but still, even in the road is pretty narrow depending on what you're shooting. So understand where the firework is going to go. If it's something that's supposed to be up in the air, then shoot it up in the air, not,
Right.
not as a projectile at someone,
right,
or a building, or.
Okay. Well, now take heed of what Gil's telling us, because we don't want to see little kids with burned fingers at the emergency room, or anybody with an eye injury, and we don't want to have the fire department responding to grass fires. We see what's going on in Colorado for the last couple of weeks there, so we don't want anything like that. So, if anybody has any questions, can they give you a call or anything down at the fire department?
Absolutely.
What's the number down there for you?
Oh, Lord, there's 6 different numbers.
Oh, okay.
559-3340 is the inspections division.
Okay.
Either myself, Michael Vaughn, he's the other fire inspector. They can call us. If not, we're listed in the phone book.
Okay.
911 will not put you through to the fire department. It puts you through to 911.
Right. Only call 911 if it's an emergency.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Gil, I appreciate you coming on. I got one question to ask you before I let you go. How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6". Gil will come and inspect your business and will not ask you for a ladder. Never needs a ladder. He'll just...
For my emergency lights or
Right, he
exercise.
just looks up at the light and he says, and he can actually touch it. So we're lucky to have him in our community, and I appreciate all that you do. Appreciate you coming on and talking about fireworks safety, and hope I don't have to talk to you again about some bad things that have happened.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Gil. We will be right back with Cameron Fisher right after these messages.
Bradley County is home to a community of resilient, compassionate families who want the best for each other. The tragedies of the April 27, 2011 tornadoes brought our community together to bring aid to the hurting and helpless. It is time to come together once more. The Bradley County school system is underfunded, and our future leaders are receiving their education in substandard learning environments. On August 2nd, you will have an opportunity to further impact our great community by voting for the wheel tax. A vote for the wheel tax will not only rebuild Blue Springs Elementary School, but it will provide a new facility that is engineered to meet the demands that technology places on the infrastructure. The overcrowded Walker Valley High School students and teachers will have much needed space and be able to use academic rooms for their intended purposes. The students and teachers of Lake Forest Middle School will no longer endure the hazardous conditions caused by the elements of nature and deteriorating classroom buildings. British philosopher Herbert Spencer stated, "The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action." Would you take action in the name of education and vote yes for the wheel tax? A vote for the wheel tax is a vote for the children and the future of Bradley County.
And welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on this first Monday of July, July 2nd. With me is Cameron Fisher. Let's get this question out of the way. How tall are you?
Well, I'm not as tall as Gil.
Who is?
I'm
John Cantrell, maybe?
almost 6'1".
6'1", okay.
Almost 6'1".
Well, you're a giant among men.
No,
So
we'll see about that.
we were just kidding about that. Hey, Joe, how tall are you? 6'8". Okay,
6'8".
Joe Palo is 6'8".
And he just lied.
He's yeah, I tell you, Titan. We call him Titan. I'm sorry, that's your wrong team. You don't like the Titans. I'm sorry. Cameron Fisher, the chairman of everything in town, it appears. Well, I will say he's chairman of the United Way board, so I get to work closely with Cameron, and you've been involved with United Way for many years. But the reason I've got you on is you're also the chairman of the Greenway board. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you've been chairman there just a couple of months, right? How many years is this?
6 years.
6 years. Yeah. That's probably the longest chairmanship of any organization in the existence of boards.
I don't know about that, but you know, when you love something so much as I do, maybe that's why they keep voting you back in.
Well, and you've done such a great job, and it's not just you. I know that there are a lot of folks that are involved in this, and I asked you to be on because it seems like whenever I talk about the Greenway or talk about it with someone, there's something new happening. Not too many months ago, and I kid Cameron because I live up close to the Home Depot, and I always call the stretch there from Mohawk, actually it was Mohawk to the bridge.
It used to be to the bridge,
Then it was Mohawk to a little bit between the bridge and Mouse Creek. Then it was Mohawk to Mouse Creek, and then it was Mohawk to Tinsley Park.
And now it's all the way through.
But it was always my Greenway. That's my Greenway, that part up there. And not too many months ago, you put lighting in up there. So, but since then, you've also expanded, well, I don't want to say expanded, I guess it's sort of brought together.
It all came together to make the full 4 miles.
So, what is the newest section of the Greenway? Where does it start? Well, it never ends, I guess.
Well, the newest section is actually the oldest section because we just incorporated the Tinsley Park Trail, which Tinsley Park Trail has been there since the 70s. It actually sits on land that's owned by M&M Mars, and they have one of those $1 a year ongoing 20-year lease kind of things with the city. And the Tinsley Park Trail has been a natural trail for years. And when the Greenway was first conceived back in 2001, a little earlier than that, they made sure that they incorporated that because it's already there. And the idea with the Greenway, at least in our town, is to follow Mouse Creek, and that obviously follows Mouse Creek. So it was a natural connector, a natural place to go through. It just so happened that that was the latest section, and it's the section that tied it all together. You mentioned your Greenway.
My Greenway.
On the Home Depot from Mohawk, which for years it went from Mohawk Drive, which is the street that runs behind Home Depot. It ran from there and stopped right at Paul Huff Parkway.
Exactly, right there underneath the underpass or overpass.
The only reason it did is because when Home Depot came in, they, as part of their agreement to come in, their PUD, whatever that is, in that planned unit development, they were asked if they would help fund that, and they gave a certain amount of money to fund that little section there when the eventuality came that we would go through there. So however many years it sat there by itself, and there's people like you that would just walk back and forth to that little, that was about a quarter mile back and forth, so you could go, what, four times and you got yourself a mile.
Well, I actually walked down to it, so I got an extra quarter of a mile there.
There you go.
But, so that was...
that was there in anticipation of the Greenway coming through. And it was just, of course, you mentioned that it got a little bit longer every time. Phase 4 of the Greenway connected from Mouse Creek, actually from Tinsley Park, to that section. So we were able to go under Paul Huff Parkway and then go on. If you haven't been on it, which if you haven't been on, shame on you, you should go walk the Greenway.
He's already gotten on me about that.
Yeah, I have. If you want to start at Mohawk, there's a trailhead that is there now, trailhead parking area just off of Mohawk Drive. You park there, get on, and go all the, if you wanted to, if you felt ambitious, you could go all the way to Willow Street, which is there across from Wholesale Supply. But you can see the part that I'm talking about as you go under Paul Huff, and you just follow onto what is property that has been deeded to the city by Duracell. That, again, it just goes right along Mouse Creek, and it comes out right there at the intersection of Mimosa and Mouse Creek Road.
Okay.
Where Southeastern Stair is and Duracell. And it goes, and if you wanted, you can get off there, but you can just continue on, go under Mouse Creek Road, that bridge there, and that'll take you over to the bridge that takes you over into Tinsley Park. And then once you're into Tinsley Park, that's the new area that's just opened up.
Is it paved?
It is paved now. It's paved all the way. It's the Phase 5, which is this latest one that was just opened, starts from the bridge that crosses over at Tinsley Park. And then it's paving all the way through Tinsley Park Trail, and then turns into cement right behind Cleveland High School.
Okay, okay.
So
I've noticed that just going on Raider Drive, and as I said, I have not been on that section of Greenway, so I need to experience that. But say I start at the beginning of my Greenway, Mohawk, and go all the way down to...
We'll call it the Mincy Greenway. How about
the Mincy Greenway. I don't think that's going to fly.
Yeah, no.
But you start there and you go all the way to Willow.
All the way to Willow.
How long is that?
That technically, if you start right where the sidewalk starts, it's 3.9 miles. But I like to go to the far end of the parking lot there
to get that
Mohawk,
little extra,
to get that little
1/10
extra,
of a mile.
to get that little extra 1/10, and that'll give you right at 4 miles.
Okay.
Or you can kind of serpentine all the way down until you
start
add
saying,
that little bit more to it.
If you're in my case, if you start, then you got to go down there, and then you got to say, well, what am I going to do now? So it's going to end up being 8 miles.
Exactly.
Because I got to.
You got to be prepared to go 8 miles if you want to go to one end to the other, because you got to get back. So don't do that when it's really hot.
No,
these 104 degree days that we've had.
Yeah, I tell you, and I see people on the Greenway all the time, whether it's
any time of the day,
cold. You know, in the winter I see them out there, and hot. There have been people out there over the weekend. Friday, Thursday it was almost 100 degrees. Today being Monday, I think they're talking about 100 degree. There'll be people down there.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them walk in the morning, I guess, before it.
That's when I always run into in the morning.
It hits, but it's become very popular. And you're doing some things on the Greenway as well. I know you've got benches, but I saw something in the paper about a big chair.
A big yellow chair.
Big yellow chair.
Yeah.
And that looked familiar. I've seen that big yellow chair somewhere before.
Yeah, that was done by an artist. His name is Josh Coleman. He's a local artist. He has a studio in the old woolen mill. And that's actually where that chair came from. It was sitting out in front of the old woolen mill.
That's it.
And it previously was in front of the museum just temporarily. And we approached him about giving that chair a little bit more exposure, which gives him more exposure as an artist and his work, and also kind of gives Cleveland and Bradley County a little bit of an immersion into the arts.
Yes.
We call it public arts. In fact, we have formed a subcommittee of the Greenway called the Greenway Public Arts Committee, and we call it GPAC for short.
I was trying to work that out there.
GPAC. So, and we've got Josh is on that, and we've got another local artist. His name's Joe McCullough. These guys are both into the big kind of art, that can be outdoors kind of stuff, and they both are advocates of public art. And then Tara Brown, she's a community advocate. She's agreed to be on there, as well as Judy Chandler, who's on the Greenway board. She's the liaison from the board. And we will add other people as we go along. We've just started this. In fact, we haven't had the first meeting. We've just wanted to kind of kick off this idea with getting the chair on the Greenway. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go to Raider Drive and get on the entrance there at Raider Drive, and you can't miss the chair. So climb up on it and take your picture.
It's right there close to the playground.
Exactly. It's in between the playground and Raider Drive.
Okay.
So you can't miss it. If you go down Raider Drive, you can't miss it for sure.
Is it something that you need to just view and not try to?
No. That's the whole idea behind it, is that they want it to be interactive.
So you can sit on it.
Oh yeah.
If you can get that.
Sit
high.
on it, Alan.
Okay, thank you. Now Gil could sit on it because he's tall. You know.
There you go.
But yeah, well, you're dating yourself,
I know
Mr. Happy Days.
That's
there.
right.
But so it's not a porcelain piece of don't touch this,
no,
you'll break it.
There's no way you can bust that thing. It's made of solid steel, whatever. He had to bring it in with a forklift, and he's got it solidly into the ground. So feel free to take whole families and take family photos up on it.
You could probably get a whole family on that chair as big as it is.
You could.
Any other things that you can think of that you've got planned for the Greenway, artistic-wise?
Well, that's the whole reason behind this group, is we want them to come up with the ideas.
So really nothing...
Nothing concrete or nothing that we can announce. There are some other pieces that Josh has actually done that have been on public display, but we want to make it to where it's something that belongs to the Greenway, and it's kind of their idea. We may put some more of his work out there. We may have some new stuff. We may commission some things. We want to have some events along the way. Some communities have this thing called Chalk the Walk, where you see, if you've been on our Greenway, you can see where many people, kids mostly, get out there with their chalk and just draw things, which is great. You know, it doesn't hurt anything. It washes away eventually. But why can't you have an event where you showcase that? Give people a square of sidewalk and just cordon off a section, maybe 20 sections, and pay a little fee to raise some money for public arts.
That sounds great.
Have a pretty good little event. We're looking at that. We haven't got any dates settled in, but that's one thing we've been kind of rolling around.
And I noticed that some of the benches are sponsored as well. I think the BB&T Lighthouse Project has done a couple of benches.
That's on the Mincy Greenway.
On the Mincy Greenway, and I've seen some individuals, some families that have done some on. What was the first part of the Greenway? Was it from Raider to?
No, that was actually the second part. The first part was between 20th and 25th.
Okay.
And it was just they wanted to get something down. This was back in 2001, October of 2001. Wanted to get something on the ground to be able to apply for grants and say, well, do you have anything? No, we don't have anything yet. It's kind of hard to apply for a grant when you just have a vision. It's better if you have something that's already in place, and then you can expand on that vision. So the city and county gave matching funds, as well as some other private donations, and we were able to get that stripped down, which includes one little bridge that was a pedestrian bridge that goes over Mouse Creek that was funded by Bank of Cleveland. So they were one of our first corporate sponsors.
Right behind Kingsway Press.
Right. So that section is still one of the most used because it's most easily accessible.
The Greenway now extends to Willow Street. We know that.
Right.
And there is a nice little entrance there. I guess the Rotary Club may
Rotary Club did that as part of their Centennial project.
What is the next phase?
Well, we voted just at our last Greenway board meeting to declare the section from Willow Street to the Village Green as Phase 6.
Okay.
We had kind of, bantered that around for months, but we hadn't officially declared that into the next phase. There are some positive developments in that area. There's always some property issues, more so now because we're starting to get into residential properties. Most of the Greenway now has been commercial and or otherwise. Big sections are owned by, like for example, there at Keith and 25th. You've got the Church of God offices, so they're able to just give us a section, to deed a section for that area there. And then there's only one other property owner on the other side. And everybody's been greatly cooperative. But then you've got individual homes that are in this section. And we certainly are not going to, we want everybody to be happy with whatever arrangement comes through. So we may divert it a little bit, who knows? There's just really nothing that we can say.
That looks like, to me as a novice, one of the hardest areas to build because it's more of a...
It's very much right on the creek. We may just go up on the road and do a sidewalk, kind of divert it a little bit. at either end, right there at Willow and over there at Inman and Keith Street, you know, that's kind of open area that you'd be able to conceivably do something. And we hope to be making some announcements about some progress in that area, but nothing's formalized yet.
Don't know if you've done any statistical analysis or not, but any idea the number of people who have traversed the Greenway?
I'd love to know that, unless you just put some kind of counter on it. I don't know. But you know, I've met so many people that walk it every single day.
Right.
In fact, I have this little column that runs every week in the Banner called "Keeping It Green." I started that back in December of. Actually, you can thank Rick Norton for that.
Okay.
I started it back in December of 2010 as an idea to kind of just generate a little bit of enthusiasm in public relations for the Greenway, and it's amazing how many weeks I've been able to come up with a different topic each week. I mean, been doing it now since December of 2010, and there's so many things about the Greenway that are interesting to me. That's what makes this position that I have so interesting, is because there's always something happening. There's always something new, there's something else going on, something on the horizon. But the column that came out, if you read yesterday's Sunday Banner, the one that came out yesterday, it talks about how I always run on the Greenway, but I decided to walk 1 mile as I was finishing up my run, and I started at the Tinsley Park and was working my way back to Raider Drive. And I talked to more people in that early morning hour, that's a few minutes, excuse me, in that early morning there. Yeah. And it was just amazing how I just needed to slow down and walk instead of running every time, because I would run with my friends and we would have our own conversation like this, you know, which is kind of hard to do. But if you're walking, you can have a regular conversation. And one guy recognized me as the writer of that column. He's an 80-year-old gentleman, Mr. Ridgway, and he says he walks it every day, all 4 miles, front and back. So, and he says he hopes to be walking when he's 100 years old.
Fantastic.
So, and then I ran into somebody else, and she said, I read your column and I really enjoy it. I even clipped out a couple of them. I'm thinking, I have fans. How about that?
Well, you got 2.
There you go. There's 2
fans
right there.
That may be more than I have on this show. I don't know.
Is anybody watching? Yes, they are. They are watching.
Yeah.
Lots of people are watching.
People, if you're watching this show and you see Cameron on the Greenway, tell him, hey, I think I saw you on Tennessee Valley this morning.
There you go.
Don't mention the column. Mention the TV show.
There you go.
And of course, I walk it. I'm no runner, but it's amazing what you can see when you're taking the time. It's like don't forget to smell the roses or whatever.
Exactly.
It's just a pleasing walk.
Exactly.
Mouse Creek is it's a creek, sure, but that's a beautiful walkway through there.
It is. And I thought about something the other day, how the Greenway has been recreational, and it's been, what's the word that ends in AL, that is...
they all do.
Motivational? I don't know.
Okay.
They all do.
Yeah, motivational.
But anyway, then I came up with a couple more. Now with the arts, we are hoping to make it cultural.
There we go.
And also, I'm finding that it's more vocational too, because people are actually starting to walk and bike to work now that this section is open. And I got a couple of pretty neat little stories. One is a friend of mine was telling how he saw a guy riding a bike and it had a baby carrier in the back. And it was a friend that he knew, so he said he knew that he and his wife had just had a new baby, so he wanted to go check out the baby in the back of the carrier. And when he got back to look, he saw bags from Home Depot and not the baby. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing my shopping." And he lives over off of Willow and had biked all the way down to Home Depot, did his shopping, got back on.
Well, on Thursday's show, I'd heard Brene Beatty from retired.
She is a very, very avid user.
And I've heard that she will shop and then carry her wares back home on the Greenway. But yeah, to some people it is a way of life. It's every day, as you say. And to some of us that it needs to be a way of life, we need to get out there and experience it.
It's worth it.
One thing I forgot to do is I always, native Bradley County.
But no, I'm not a native.
You're not a native?
I'm actually not a native. No,
That's right.
I came here in 9th grade.
I forgot. That's right. That's right. You lived in Hawaii.
I did for 7 years growing up. I spent all my elementary school years in Hawaii.
He lived in Hawaii and he moved to Cleveland. What does that tell you about Cleveland, guys? Hawaii doesn't have greenways like we do.
They actually do. I went back
No,
in
they
January.
don't.
I went back in January, and boy, they got a few nice ones.
Yeah, but they don't have them like we do.
That's true.
And we've got great beaches too.
There you go. Oh yeah, we do.
That's right.
Up in Chilhowie, you can't beat that.
Wife Donna.
Wife Donna.
2 kids.
2 kids. Son Grant, who lives in Nashville with his wife Nicole, and my daughter Amanda, who's will be in her last semester this fall at Lee.
And I remember seeing you over at the baseball field, watching the kids play ball. So
yeah, I miss those days sometimes.
We've got a few years on us. Cameron, thanks for coming on, talking about the Greenway. We're going to take another break, and I may ask Cameron and Gil to come back over, and we may close the show with just a few more comments. But we'll be right back after these words.
Thanks a lot.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
And we're back with more Tennessee Valley this morning. We've got a few minutes left in the show. And I asked Gil Frederick from the Cleveland Fire Department to come back over. And, of course, Cameron Fisher with the Greenway, chairman of the board there, hanging around. Gil, before we leave, I want to mention one more time, July 4th coming up Wednesday. People, be careful with these fireworks.
Yeah, and like we talked about, common sense, you know. Supervision, don't break the sticks off bottle rockets, don't tie bottle rockets, 40 of them together and try to light them at one time and have them all go. That's just, they're not designed that way. So.
And you probably need to keep your pets away from them too. I didn't even think about that, but that's all you need is to shoot a bottle rocket into, you know.
In the Fido.
Yes. Yeah, and if your dog is as curious as mine is, she's going to want to know what's going on and right up in your face and all up in your business while you're trying to get this thing lit, and yeah, it definitely could injure them as well.
And though there are fireworks shows all over the place, I would suggest that go to one that is done by professionals, such as the one at Bradley Square Mall.
Absolutely.
Do you happen to know what time that takes place?
I believe it starts at 9:30. I believe is for the time.
Okay.
It's got to be dark enough.
Yeah.
Almost 9:30 before it gets dark.
Well, and the Greenway, I bet you have people on the Greenway that go down and sit on the Greenway to watch the fireworks.
They do.
Right there on my section, the Mincy section.
Yeah. Did you give them permission?
I didn't, but I am now. Anybody that wants to go and watch the fireworks, and I know they go to Home Depot a lot. They go to
a lot of good areas.
All over the place. I know in the past we've had it down around Tri-State, and I think they moved it from there.
Too much traffic, I think. Yeah.
I've tried to drive through there. It was a bear, but it seems to be a good location for it, and I know that there will be the fire department will be there in case there are any mishaps.
Well, we have a hall just right there on Paul Huff, so they may
be worth their shot.
Be on alert.
They may be watching it from there.
That's true.
Didn't even think about that, but we want people to be safe this holiday season. Cameron, the Greenway, we talk about the benefits of it, but we also want people to be safe there. And with these temperatures,
Absolutely.
You need to stay hydrated.
That's right. And we have three water fountains on the Greenway. We have one at Tinsley Park, the new, which I want to mention too, the new upgraded Tinsley Park playground, and then there's one at the restroom, of course, right there near the restroom, and you can use the restroom as well at the Harris Creek Trailhead, and then there's one at the playground, the People for Care and Learning playground there, right at First Tennessee. Right. But I did want to mention that we have not set any kind of formal dedication or ribbon cutting for this Phase 5, and we're kind of waiting on the city to finish some last little things there at the Tinsley Park, the new upgraded park there, and so we're going to kind of have it all together and have a ribbon cutting for all of that together.
Well, if you need anything done that's high up, just call Gil, because he can reach it.
That doesn't need a ladder.
And I bet you if you need a ladder, they probably have a ladder at the fire department.
Sure. And we have a couple of very
just
long ladders. Yes.
Just a few of those. You guys got plans for July 4th? Any of you, except working? You'd probably be working.
We have a great show, a fireworks show that's going to be here. Why would you go anywhere else?
Exactly. Well, I thought you might be going back to Hawaii to experience.
No, I would do that if I could.
Oh, yeah, but any runs that you've got coming up? Cameron is also a professional marathoner.
Professional, there you go. I'll take that.
Right.
No, my specialty and the thing that I like to do is half marathons, which is half of 26.2, which is what a full marathon is.
No math. I told you, no math on this show. We've already gone through that. Yes. I don't know what half of 26, what is that, 14?
13.1.
I was not even close. I was close.
To me, those are doable. You know, it just takes so much training and so much time to do full marathons. Some people are built, they can do those.
And you have a family affair with these.
Yeah,
I've seen
a lot of friends that go with me. My son has run with me on several occasions. And
have I seen a lady by the name of Kim Fisher?
She doesn't run.
She doesn't run?
She doesn't run that I know of. She does like to walk on her new Foxtrot.
Oh, yes, down at
Greenway,
Black Fox. Yeah, of course,
Black
Kim
Fox.
is the principal down at Black Fox.
That's my sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law, but, well, you need to, get, Gil, with his stride, he could be a marathoner.
Ooh, no, that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I can't even hardly say the word run, much less do it.
But I know the fire department folks have to go through a strenuous, physical. You have to be in shape.
Well, it helps, but the line crew is in much better shape than some of us in the administrative section. So,
okay.
So no, those guys are fit. I guess the white shirt seems to make you put on a few pounds, and I don't know what it does.
Why do you think I'm dressed in black? I don't need any help with that. Okay. Well, now, just to let you know, I called Steve, your new chief.
Oh.
And he's the one who suggested you come on the show. So
he's perfectly capable. I don't know why.
I don't think he wanted to get up at 6:30 in the morning on Monday. Is what it
Camera
what
shy,
was.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it's good to be king when you're chief. You can designate.
That's right.
But appreciate both of you coming on the show today. I hope that we get the chance to have you on again in the future. Hope that your July is great. We're starting it off great with you two on our show. So let's hope our holidays are nice and that everything works out for everyone. We're going to leave you now. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 6:30, for the Tuesday edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. And until then, we'll see you. Everybody's got to wave. Yeah, that's the...
You can say aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, there you go.
Yeah, you can do the...